What's going on, guys? Noobs here. Well, now that Hey Pikmin is out to predictably mediocre reviews, I wanted to talk about what I noticed was kind of a string of unfortunately kind of low budget, low effort filler games, spin offs, and sequels that Nintendo put out in the last few years, uh, which hopefully Hey Pikmin is the last of. So, specifically, the games I'm talking about. This started back in 2015. We had Chibi-Robo Ziplash, Triforce Heroes, and then in November of that year, we had both Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival and Happy Home Designer, as well as Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. And then into 2016, of course, we had Star Fox Zero, the infamous Metroid Prime Federation Force, and then even into 2017, we've had Mario Sports Superstars, and now finally, Hey Pikmin. So I think what all these games have in common is that they're just blatant filler games, aren't they? They're just kind of cashing in on names and franchises. Nintendo seems to just be using them to pad their lineup, maybe make a bit of extra money. And frankly, I just think not only is it resulting in not such good games, but it's actually harming the related franchises. And I think Nintendo could be doing a much better job. For starters, I think Nintendo could just do some things to streamline their own development a little bit in order to make more, top quality games and make it so that they don't have to make so many filler games. YouTube Muppet or whatever he is, Arlo, recently put out an amazing video talking about the problems with the Zelda release development schedule and how he thought it could be fixed. And you know what? It's an amazing video. You got to check it out if you haven't seen it. In there, he makes the case that Majora's Mask is an amazing game that came out quite quickly after Ocarina of Time and is remembered as being one of the most unique Zelda games because even though it reused so much of Ocarina's, assets and everything, because of the story and the atmosphere, it felt completely new and different, right? So he makes the case that Nintendo could be doing this more often with Zelda games. Now, this is something I'm absolutely hoping for, especially with how good Breath of the Wild was. I just want more of the same, I think it's something Nintendo could be doing just throughout their franchises. Arlo uses the example of how great Super Mario Galaxy 2 was, and I completely agree. The company seems obsessed with reinventing the wheel every time they put out a new game instead of just, doing what already worked, which can be so frustrating as a fan because it means less games and you gotta wait longer for your favorite franchises. It seems to me Nintendo has a real issue with what I call franchise care. It's not just about making great games, it's about kind of maintaining interest in your different franchises, kind of maintaining a certain level of quality, keeping fans engaged. There's kind of the red meat for the base type stuff. Samus Returns is a perfect example of this. I don't know how well that game will do, but the big Nintendo fans are just super hyped for that, right? That was completely energized me watching their E3 stuff, how excited I was to see that. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got what I'm calling gut punches. These are games where it's or it's kind of like the monkey's paw, wish come true with a horrible drawback where it's you're getting a new Pikmin game, but it's going to be a mediocre outsourced 2D platformer. Same with Chibi-Robo. Or it's a Mario sports game that's just not very good and not complete. Or all these Animal Crossing games. Obviously, Nintendo fans are always asking for more of their favorites, and sometimes, unfortunately, Nintendo gives them these. So I kind of wonder what the profitability of these types of games really is. It's hard for me to imagine they're making very much. Again, I realize they're not costing very much either, but I feel like that money could be better invested in things that are gonna solidify their base, keep their biggest fans happy, even if it doesn't make them a ton of money or any money at all in the immediate term. In the long term, it helps you cultivate a fan base, which is so important, right? So what are some other kind of red meat ideas that they could have done on the cheap to make fans happy? You know what? Sometimes it might be as simple as just doing a remake or a port or a collection. Can you imagine how hyped people would have gotten for a Mother collection on 3DS instead of one of these games? Like, there's just other ways Nintendo could be investing this money that, again, it's not going to make them much, but I think it's going to earn a ton of goodwill. Whereas, when you announce Federation Force, it only damages your brand. It hurts Metroid, and it super hurts you. It just throws a cloud over everything else you announce at E3 because everybody's just complaining about Federation Force. With some of these, it feels like they're taking advantage of their biggest fans instead of giving them what they want. It's kind of like, well, we know you'll buy anything with the Metroid name on it, so here's what we felt like making and not what you felt like playing, And I think that instead of building up these franchises, it actually diminishes them, right? Because when you start putting these mediocre games, into the catalog of a particular franchise like Animal Crossing, which up to this point had all been very consistent gameplay and all been, generally well received. I mean, some better than others, but they had all been very consistent. Now all of a sudden you start doing spin-offs that people aren't very happy with, and maybe, more casual people buy them because they see Animal Crossing and they loved Animal Crossing on Wii or DS, and they play this and they're like, why am I playing this board game? Animal Crossing isn't what it used to be. It hurts. It hurts your franchise. Can you imagine if instead of Federation Force or one of these other games they had announced, a Mother collection on 3DS? How crazy would people have gone at that E3 if that had been the announcement instead of Federation Force? Or, what I'm always saying, how about an F-Zero GX HD port somewhere? Or, just put some of these external teams on working on Virtual Console or online services. It's not necessarily stuff that's going to make Nintendo a lot of money, but it's not going to cost them a lot of money either, and it just earns them so much goodwill with the fans, the hardcore community. People who evangelize their products are actually going to be going out there and, excitedly telling their friends or talking online about why they love Nintendo instead of being out there complaining and even maybe feeling like they have to defend their company or their systems from people who see this stuff and just go, why are you still following this company? So, like I said, I hope this is the last of it. I'm thinking this was mostly a kind of end of life thing for both 3DS and Wii U. So hopefully we're getting a break from this. Maybe they're going to get better with Switch even as that system gets older. But it's a wait and see for now. Let me know what you guys think. Did you actually enjoy all these games that I listed off? Or would you have traded them for other titles? Some other work they could have done? Let me know, and thanks for watching.